All right, hello 7th grade. We're going to go ahead and begin going over yesterday's homework. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can always leave in the comment section and I'll be more than happy to answer them as soon as I can. Number 1. Juan spins each spinner once. What is the probability of Juan spinning an A and a 3? So we have two probabilities here. The probability of spinning an A is 1/4 and the probability of spinning a 3 is 1/3. Now, whenever you have two probabilities, remember you do have to multiply, so we get 1/12. The answer is A. All right, next. Oops, there we go. All right, I'm assuming that's Giza's class took a field trip to a boat dock. They learned that the mast of a boat is the tall pole that holds the main sail. The dock worker said that the mast on one of the boats was 42 feet high. When Giza got home, she built a scale model of the boat. Her mast was 14 inches high. Which of these could have been her scale? I guess that didn't erase. All right, so let's look here. Her mast was 14 inches, and the original was 42 feet. Now we can simplify this by 14. 14 divided by 14 is 1, so that's an inch. 42 divided by 14 is 3, and that's in feet. So the answer is D. Number 3. On a sunny day, Tico measured the height of a sunflower and its shadow. He also measured the shadow of the tree behind the sunflower. Based on Tico's measurements, how tall is the tree? All right, so I actually gave you the numbers because I didn't really know if you could actually read these here. They're kind of blurred a little bit. All right, but all we're doing here is just making a proportion. All right, so this was 3. The shadow was 8. And the shadow of the tree is 48, and the tree is X. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it in proportion. So the height of the tree is X, and the shadow is 48. So I'm going to call this S for shadow. Set that equal to the height of the sunflower is 3, and the shadow is 8. And I can just solve that. One thing I can do is how can I get from 48 to 8? So what I'm really doing is dividing by 6, right? Because that equals 8. Because remember, proportions are equivalent fractions. So what divided by 6 equals 3? Well, that would be 18. So the answer is C. Number 4. The diagram shows similar triangles ABC and A prime, B prime, C prime. Use the diagram to determine the length of side A prime, C prime. So again, what we have is just another proportion. So I'm looking for A prime, C prime, so it'd be this part right here. So I can just do AB over AC and then do A prime, B prime over A prime, C prime. So 10 over 12. And set that equal to 7.5 over X. And then solve the proportion. 7.5 times 12. 15, 5, 7. So this would be 90. And then I divide this by 10. So move the decimal once to the left. I get 9. The answer is C. Next page. Number 5, an artist is creating an entranceway with the structure in the shape of two similar triangles as shown. Which proportion can be used to find the value of X? Now, X is this whole line from A to C. Okay? So, what I would do is I would basically separate my triangles. So I would have 4, 6, and 8. And then I have another triangle, which would be 4 and 8. because there's a little stopper there. So this is 16, and then I have another 8 here. So I'm looking for this whole side. Okay, so what I could do is let's make a proportion. So let's do 4 over this side, right? So 4 over 12, and set that equal to this 8 over this x, this whole thing. So 8 over x. And let's see where that would be. Let's see which one gives me that one. Okay, so the answer would be D. It's just written backwards. It's 12 over 4, so it's 12 over 4, and then this would be x over 8. So it's just flipped. So the answer here is D. All right, moving on. Kate is doing a report of how long it takes a mouse to find cheese at the end of a maze. She conducted an experiment and recorded the times of 5 trials in the table. Based on these results, what is the probability that the mouse will find the cheese in its next trial in less than 48 seconds? So I'm going to go through and look, okay, how many times did they find the cheese in less than 48 seconds? 47 is less, and 43. So that's 2 out of 5 times. The answer is C. Number 7. Michelle and Sandy are about to start playing Matho, a dice game. In order to see who goes first, they roll a cube, numbered 1 through 6. Michelle will go first if the cube shows a 3 or 4. Otherwise, Sandy will go first. What is the probability that Sandy will go first? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to number this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it says that Michelle will go first if she rolls a 3 or a 4. All right, so that's Michelle. So I marked them out. So the rest would be Sandy. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 over 6 total choices, which is 2/3. Oh, well, they didn't simplify it. D. Number 8. Joey invests $500 at 5% simple interest per year. How much interest will he have in 2 years? So this is I equals PRT. It's simple interest. All right, so the interest I don't know. The principal amount is what he invests, so that's 500. The rate is your percentage as a decimal. So that's going to be times 0.05 because 5% is 500, and for time it's the number of years. So times 2. And we just work that out. So I'm just going to do 500 times 500ths. And we get 25. And then multiply that by 2, so 25 times 2 is 50. The answer is D. Number 9. If the number 60 is increased by 15%, what is the new value? So it's increased. So the way to increase is you have to put a 1 in front of 15% once you take it to a decimal. So what it would really be is 1.15, because I took this to a decimal, times 60. That's nothing there. All right, so you get a row of zeros. 30, 9, 6. And so we get 69. The answer, C. Number 10. The price of a pair of shoes was $80 on Monday. On Wednesday, the price was discounted by 20%. On Friday, the price was discounted by 25% from Wednesday's price. The price of the shoes on Friday represent what single discount from Monday's price? Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to figure out what the price was on Wednesday and then do a percent change so I can figure out what the percent change from Friday to Monday was. Okay, so let's start with on Wednesday. On Wednesday, it was discounted by 20%. So remember, if I'm taking a discount of 20%, I'm responsible to pay 80%. So that's 0.8. So the shoes were $64. Then, on Friday, if it was discounted by 25%, I'm responsible to pay 75% or 75 hundredths. So this is 32. Let's figure out how much this is going to be. So now the shoes are $48. So now I'm going to do a percent change from the price of Monday to the price of Friday. So percent change is difference over the original. So let's find the difference. 80 minus 48, which is 32. So 32 over 80. And if you want to simplify, you can. I'm just going to go ahead and, let's go ahead and simplify this by 8. So 32 divided by 8 is 4. 80 divided by 8 is 10. I'm not going to simplify that any further because 44 over 10 is 4/10, which is 40%. So it was a single discount of 40%. The answer is A. Number 11. Okay, so on this one here, I did tell you, I guess when I scanned it in, it didn't show the shaded part, but the shaded part is this part right in here. And I told you that the shaded part was the circle that had the 1 inch in it. So this is actually the shaded part there. Okay. Part-time scientist Joe Lane is conducting an experiment. He has one square 10-inch piece of paper on the paper. On the paper are 2 circles with the same center. After placing the paper on his desk, he holds a handful of confetti exactly 18 inches above the circles. After he drops the confetti, what is the probability that a piece of confetti will land in the shaded area? Assume that all the confetti lands on the paper. Okay, so really, what I really need to know is like the area. So I need to find the area of that shaded part, and because I want to know the probability, it's going to be the area of the shaded part over the whole thing. Okay, so the whole thing is going to be easy because it's a square piece of paper. And to find the area of a square, this is just 10 times 10, which equals 100. So we'll use that later. But I need to find the area of that shaded part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of this circle, and I'm going to subtract the area of this circle. When I subtract, what's left is just that shaded part there that I've done. Okay, so let's do first the full circle. Now, if this part is 1 inch, that means that this part is 1 inch here, and 2 plus 1 is 3, so the radius is 3. So what I have is area equals pi r squared. Area equals, we'll do 3.14 times 3 squared, because again, 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So A equals 3.14 times 9. Go ahead and multiply that out. Now you get 28 and 26 hundredths. So now I'm going to do this circle right in here. Well, the radius of that one is 2. So this would be 3.14 times 2 squared, or 3.14 times 4. And I get 12.56. Now I'm going to subtract. And 1570. So that's the area. So again, so now I'm going to put it in a probability problem, right? So it's what I'm looking for. So this is the area over the total area, which is 100. Well, we should know that percents always go over 100, so this would just be 15.7%. The answer is C. Number 12. Matthew bought a television for $600. He was charged a credit card fee of 2% on the purchase price. How much was the credit card fee? So all it's asking me to do is to find 2% of 600. And of means to multiply. So 600 times 2%, or 2 hundredths. 0, 0, 12, 2, so it was $12. The answer is A. Number 13. John bought a new electronic game. The game store had the game he wanted marked at $34.99, but it was on sale for $25 off. What was the cost of the game after the discount, but with 7.6 sales tax? So first let's figure out how much the game would be with the discount. So again, if you're getting a discount of 25% off, you're responsible to pay 75%. So $34.99 times 75 hundredths. Let me mark these out, move over. All right, let's see what I get here. 9, 12, 2, 12. Okay, let me see if that is right. Okay, this isn't right, so let me do it again. Oops. $34.99 times 75 hundredths. That's 45, 45, that's 49, 24. So I think I had a 1 where the 4 was last time. Okay, move it over, cross out, 63, that's 70. Oh, no, it's not. Oh my gosh, 63. 63 plus 6 is 69. 28 plus 6 is 4. Okay, maybe I have this right now. Okay, let's add this up. 5, 12, 14, 2. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 26.245. Okay, so it's money, so we have to round to the nearest cent. So this is just 26.24. Alright, so now there's going to be a tax of 7.6%. So let's take that to a decimal. 2 times to the right. Now it's an increase. So when I increase, what I have to do is multiply it by 1.076. So that's what I'm going to do. Times 1.076. Now remember, when you multiply, decimals do not have to be lined up. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit long multiplication here. 4, 2, 13, 14, 37, 12, 15, 8, 28, 16, 43, row zeros, and then move over 3 times. 4, 2, 6, 2, 12, 14, 13, 12, 8, 2, number of decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'd be $28.34. Oh, I wrote that wrong. $28.23. All right, so let's look which one's closest. Let's see. So there's that one. Ooh, made too many mistakes there. Sorry. All right, 14. Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Side AB is 4 inches long, so let me write that. Side DE is 10 inches long. If the length of side EF is 7.5 inches, what is the measure of side BC? So EF is 7.5. So again, this is just another proportion. So I can do I'm looking for BC, so 4 over x, and then 10 over 7.5. You could also do 4 over 10, set that equal to x over 7.5. So that would work as well. All right, so let's see. Oops, wrong place. 7.5 times 4, 30 divided by 10, 3. Just move that decimal, so the answer is C. Number 15. The scale on a map is 1 1/2 inch equals 45 miles. The distance from town A to town B is 8 inches. If you have traveled 87 miles from town A, on your way to town B, how much further do you have to go? Alright, so let's see here. So what I want to know is how many total miles I have to travel. Oh, let's figure out the total. So let's use the scale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 1 1/2 and I'm going to turn it to a decimal. So 1.5, that's inches over 45 miles. Alright, so set this in a proportion, and from A to B is 8 inches, so that's going to go on top over x. So do 45 times 8. That's an ugly 8. Alright. I get 360. Let's divide that by 1 5/10. So move it once, add a 0. That would be 2, 30, 60, that's 4, 60, 0, 0. Alright, so we have 240 miles. That's the total trip. Now, it says that you've traveled 87 miles. How much do you have to go? So now we're going to just subtract. And you have to go 153 miles. So the answer is C. Number 16. Abby flipped a coin several times and recorded her results in the table. How much greater is the experimental probability of getting heads than the theoretical? Okay, so the experimental probability is just how many times she got heads, 62, over the total. And let's add 62 plus 38. It's 100. So 62 over 100 over the theoretical. Well, the theoretical is, well, there's 1 heads on a coin, so that's going to be minus 1/2. Okay, so I just find a common denominator. So let me just write it vertical, be a little bit easier. This really equals, this is what I'm doing. So this is really 50 over 100, right? So 12 over 100. I can simplify this by 4. So this would be 3 over 25. The answer is C. Alright, Harriet bought a shirt that cost $18. After the sales tax was added, the total cost of the purchase was $19.35. What was the sales tax rate? And this is just a percent change. So let's take the cost of the shirt, so the difference over the original. So $19.35 minus $18, $1.35, so that's the difference. And the original is the $18. And we just divide that out, 18 into 1.35, 0. Let's see, here's 7, 126. When I subtract, I get 9, drop a 0, 5. Alright, and then as a percent, you just move it twice to the right. And this equals 7.5%. The answer is C. Next. Last page. So again, I clarified this on the form for you. I didn't realize you couldn't see this number right here. Alright, Theo lives in town A. Tomorrow he must go to town B. The scale is 1 inch equals 45 miles. If Theo travels on Arrow Road, how far will he travel? Round to the nearest hundredth. Alright, so again, this is just another proportion. So I said that this was 2 3/8. So I can do that as a decimal. So I know that the scale is 1 inch over 45 miles. And let's set that equal to 2 375 thousandths over x. And so all I really have to do is just multiply. Let's see here. I'm trying to decide if I really want to put that back into a fraction and multiply, if that would be easier. Probably not. Okay, let me just multiply this. 2.375 times 45. No, because it needs to round to the nearest hundredth, so I do need to keep that. Alright, so 5, 25, 37, 18, 11, cross out, 20, 30, 15, 9, 5, 7, 8, 6, 10. 3 decimal places to the nearest hundredth. 7 is the hundredth. 8, so the answer would be 106 and 88 hundredths. So there's that answer. Number 19. Rick places green and red balls in a bag. He picks 3 balls at random without putting any in the bag. Any back in the bag. What is the probability that all 3 balls are green? Okay, so let's figure out how many are green. Let's see, there's 1 green, 2, 3, 4. So 4 out of 10. Now every time that you pick one out, then you don't put it back, then your total goes down. So then the next one would be, and these are all green, so 3 out of 9, because a green goes away, and I'll just demonstrate here. So now there's a green gone, so that's 3 out of 9, and then you would have another one goes away. You would have 2 over 8. So the answer there is A. Number 20. Billy rolls a standard 6-sided number cube and flips a coin. What is the probability that the cube shows an odd number and the coin shows tails? Well, the tails one's easy because that's just 1/2. An odd, well, there are 3 odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5 over 6 total, so that's a half. So that would be 1/4. The answer is A. Alright, so that concludes the lesson from the homework that you did yesterday. So again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just leave them and I'll be more than happy to answer them. You'll have a good day.